If you've been struggling to find the right samples for your mellow, sleepy lo-fi beats, then look no further because I've put together the perfect sample pack for this genre. Whilst a lot of these lo-fi kits out there aren't even made by lo-fi producers, I've really honed in on the sound of the sleepy, mellow, organic, texture-rich lo-fi beats in this video. Stuff that I make myself, and I've tried to capture it in a sample pack. And it's got so much useful stuff in here, and it's been ages since I released a pack with guitar and piano loop and all of the melodic textures, so it's got all of that stuff in there. Plus, it's got Foley loops, texture racks, one-shots, drums, hi-hats, transitions, vocals, and loads of melodic textures that you can drag and drop into your tracks. So I'll be breaking down all of the sounds and bonus extras that are in this pack. Plus, if you make a beat on Instagram using this pack and tag me at Mondo Loops, I'll be giving away a free bonus pack as well to everyone who does that. But for now, I'm going to dive in and show you the sounds in the pack. So this is the pack, Sleepy Lo-Fi Drums Volume 1, and don't let the name fool you, there's a lot more than just drums in here. So I'll go through some of the sounds and then I'll demo the extras, which is the Foley Racks, how I made them and how they work. So just to give you a full overview, there's so much going on. I've got ambiances, drum loops, one-shots, some extras, guitar loops, piano loops, and vocals. As always with the melodic stuff, we've got these sort of full loops here. Some of them are nylon, some are electric, various synths and vocals and textures layer into them. I've got the BPMs and keys on the demos as well. And then if you like any of them, you can go in and just take the stems, which can be super useful to drag and drop to start tracks with or to enhance your tunes. So you can just take some of the stems if it fits your track and just drag and drop them in that way. So it's a great sort of tool to have in your arsenal if you want to just enhance your tunes a little bit. Again, piano stuff. Got a little hand pan on this one. I've incorporated textures into some of these as well, but obviously if you just want the stems, you can come in here and take whichever stems you want to use. And then onto the drums. So the drums are really tuned for every lo-fi producer who wants some extra texture, some extra Foley stuff in a really easy, convenient way. So I've got the one-shots, which has just got an array of crunchy, textured snares, all of which are quite soft and there's no harshness or any of that stuff to these. So lots of nice little crunchy snares. Again, some soft hats, some quite sort of crunchy, brushy, soft sounds that work well in the sleepy setting. Kicks, some of them are a little bit thumpy, some of them are more soft and gentle. Stuff like this with the white noise works really well as well. And then, of course, I've got loads of Foley, which I use in the racks, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. Loads of different stuff in here, but I'll show you some really cool tricks on how to use them shortly. A couple of fills, just sort of percussive stuff, which again, I'll show you in the demo at the end too. And a few transitions in there as well. Just some soft, white noisy, textured, organic stuff. Onto my favorite bit, which is the loops. So I've got a few clock loops in here because I use this a lot in my music, and I thought I'm going to make some more, give them away in the pack. They're great for adding texture. They add a bit of width to the track because they're all panned in different ways, and some of these have added a little bit more delay and groove to them as well. So they give the track a little bit of sort of movement. And the great thing about using loops is you do get that natural groove and rhythm from these actual recordings. So the hats are all super soft, a little bit muffled. Works really well in this setting. Some of them a bit more tappy. Some of them more sort of crunchy brushes. Some of them are sort of like brush loops. And then finally, the perks and Foleys, which are, again, probably my favorite element of the pack. And it's stuff that in previous packs I'm always using. I've gone and recorded loads of stereo Foley percussive stuff, compiled them together. Some of them are quite subtle, some of them are a little bit more layered and interesting. The stuff with this crunchy sort of background noise are great to sidechain to kicks to sort of make it perfectly blend into your track. Some of the earlier ones are quite ambient and subtle, and they've got nice sort of wooden percussive elements to them. that just thrown on top of a simple beat really do enhance them quite well. Again, all the BPMs are labeled so you can just drag and drop and adjust to your tracks. We've also got some noise textures, which are just quite loud noise samples, which are great for using like envelope filters to craft out hi-hat patterns and stuff, and just adding a little bit of width and texture to your tracks, or using them in your serum or vital patches. Any synth patches is sort of like a noise texture, works well. Loads of vocal stuff, one shots. Some of them got effects, some of them are just one shots with movements. Got some keys labeled as well. Some of them are quite wide too. So that's them. Also got some soft ambiences in there as well, like Nighttime Forest. Just pre-mixed, ready to go, drag and drops into your tracks. A coffee shop atmos, busy bustling streets, that sort of thing. And then I've also got this extras, which is where I've taken some of the Foley sounds and I've made these generative racks. So I'll dive in and show you them now. But quickly before I show you this life-changing Foley rack, if you're watching the video this far, I assume that you're a producer, and I assume that you probably want to or already do release your music on sites like Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Deezer, all of the major streaming services. And if you do that, you're going to want to check out this week's sponsor, who is DistroKid. And if you click the link in the description down below, you'll get 7% off your first year at DistroKid as well. But why would you want to join them? Well, they are the biggest distributor in the world for lots of fantastic reasons. So firstly, they're a Spotify preferred distributor, so you get really easy access to Spotify for artists. On top of that, they're the best value distributor out there, in my opinion, because you pay an annual fee to join the service, and they take 0% of your royalties for that fee. Whereas if you go to another site that takes 5, 10, sometimes more of a percentage from your music, especially with lo-fi, you can land in one decent playlist in the year, and that'll easily cost you more than the annual fee in DistroKid. Plus, on top of that, they've got an array of ever-growing features to help you promote your music and your brand, including making Spotify canvases, promotional material. They've got a brand new playlist search engine tool, which essentially you can put in the genre that you're looking for, and it will find all the contact information for that genre, list it to you, and you can send your music to these playlists without having to scroll through Spotify, which can be a real time consuming and fruitless job. So if you've got music out there on distributors who are taking cuts of your music, maybe work out if it's worth moving to DistroKid and seeing what money you could save that way. So click the link in the description down below for 7% off your first year's membership. And yeah, onto the secret Foley racks. So one thing you can do with all of these Foley one shots is make these sort of generative Foley racks that just work really well to drag and drop into any track, any BPM, and they just fit with the track and they're super easy to tweak. So if you've got Ableton, I've done that for you. You need Ableton 11 to make use of this, but I'll show you exactly what's going on as well. So if you're in any other DAW, you can make the equivalent too. So if you click on the extras, go into the Ableton Foley rack, you've got this Ableton project, and let's open that up. So this is the project file, and what you want to do is just save this and have it somewhere so you can go to your project, drag and drop these racks, or save them into presets. So you can go ahead and save these racks as presets or do whatever you want with them. And effectively what they do is they've taken some of the samples from the pack and they've made these generative racks. So what it sounds like is this. Sort of rolling through an array of similar Foley sounds from the pack. And I've made it in a way so you can adjust stuff like the reverb. You can make it mono or nice and wide. You can adjust the velocity. Add some cab emulation. High pass filter. Give it some bounce. Give it some drive. And change the sync rate. So the first one is made using sort of chimey, soft sounds from the pack. And the second one is using some of the more Foley-ish sounds. I'm going to drop the volume a little bit. A bit of reverb, a bit of cab, velocity down, a bit of drive. Again, bounce. It works really well with this because you can sort of give it a nice background texture and you can sidechain it to other elements in your track. So high pass filter a bit. Give it a bit of delay. And I've also got this random style element, so this changes the arpeggiator's sort of randomness. So the way these work are effectively with arpeggiators. So you can see the random style here is adjusting the style of the arpeggiator here. The bottom is random once, and then if you scroll up, you're getting different, more predictable sort of arpeggiations, if that's the word. So we've got an arpeggiator going into a drum rack, which is playing these sounds. We've also got velocity on there, which is adding a bit of randomness to the velocity, and you can adjust the velocity top end here. So we're then going into a few effects. We've got some tubes, again, which is controlled by the drive here. We've got a width delay, which is controlling the width. And then we've got the cab emulation, some filter delay, which is giving it the bounce element. So you can see here, just in the dry and volume levels. And then we've got some filtering and another delay. And again, the same on the chime rack. So super useful to do with samples. You can even take these and just drag and drop your own samples. If you hit this button here, goes to the drum rack, you can swap these samples out for whatever you want, add more, or change them in any way you want. And you get really interesting drag and drop sounds that you can drop into your mixes when you're feeling a little bit of lack of inspiration. We've also got these Foley triggers here, which I actually made in a recent video. I thought I'd give them away in this video. So this one has got various samples, again being arpeggiated randomly, and they're panned in different ways. It gives it a nice wide crunchy sound. So I really love using this one. I've used it in a few tracks already. And a similar thing here, but with slightly louder sounds. So even these two on their own just add a nice crunchy texture, which can work well in the background of tracks. So yeah, that is the Foley rack. Do remember to drop your videos on Instagram if you want a free bonus pack as well. But now I'm just going to play you the official pack demo, which has got sounds all from the pack in this demo. So you can listen through, see if there's anything you like in there. And remember to check the pack out in the description down below. So yeah, here's the demo.